So, 2024, where do I start on Brendon's books? I answered this question a number of years ago, but things have changed since then. You have a few entry points into my work. I would recommend starting with, if you want to know what I've been doing most recently, one of the secret projects, actually. In fact, I recommend that new readers start with Tress of the Emerald Sea. Now, this is a standalone novel with a bit of a whimsical and humorous bent. That might not be the actual best book for you, but where we stand right now, I think it is one of the best places to start. Now, if you would prefer something more action-heavy, then I would recommend starting with Skyward. This is a science fiction novel about a young woman who joins her local space force fighting against a mysterious enemy. And it's action-packed, quick-paced, and an excellent place to start. Now, you do have also the option to start with Mistborn. Mistborn is the story of a fantasy heist. It is one of the books that made me famous. It's 20 years old by now, and it's apparently held up really well. People are still reading it. It is probably one of my most famous books and tied for one of my best-selling books. So I would recommend Mistborn. Mistborn's if you want something more epic fantasy. Tress of the Emerald Sea, a little more fairy tale whimsy. Skyward, science fiction, space opera. Mistborn, epic fantasy, but kind of a fast-paced, heist-focused epic fantasy. If you want to jump into the deep end first, The Way of Kings is my giant epic. This is the Stormlight Archive. These are enormous books, twice as long as even the Mistborn books, which are already twice as long as an average novel. This is the series I'm probably best known for, tied with sales with Mistborn, and it is an epic war narrative, something a little closer to the Wheel of Time or Game of Thrones. Finally, one last place you could start if you want something shorter, if you want to just taste what I do, or if you want something a little more literary, The Emperor's Soul is an excellent starting point. You can find that bound in the book Arcanum Unbounded, or you can buy it on its own. It is a novella. So it, again, is half the length of even one of the shorter of my novels. An excellent place to start to just see if my style matches what you like to read. So that's the 2024 edition of where I recommend you start on my books.